Hello, everyone. We're going a little crazy over here. We're teaching you how to avoid insanity while working from home. I don't know, maybe you can teach us because we're going a little bit crazy too, working from home every single day. We normally do it. So we should be more prepared to deal with this pandemic, but it's still a huge challenge for us as well. So we're going to share our best practices over the last 10 years of how we've learned how to work from home and stay sane, stay healthy, and what have you. And hopefully that can help you as well. Let us know in the comments while we're doing this live stream what you've been doing to stay sane or just how you're feeling. Andrew Perrin, Ross A. Dillon are here. Perrin, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay with this whole having to stay in your house for a month, maybe two process? This is crazy, man.
I feel pretty insane. I just be straight up. It's pretty weird to like. I said this yesterday when we were kind of like chatting about the show topic, but it feels more normal to be online than to like go out in the world now. Because if I go out for like a walk, I feel like it's the zombie apocalypse. Like no one's out, and if there is somebody out, they're giving you like this stink eye, like why are you out? And then I'm looking at them like, well, why are you out? Like it's the same thing, and so it feels weird to be outside. And it feels weird, like the world just feels different. But online feels the same.
Yep.
Online feels comfortable. And we should be used to this by now because we've been working from home. I don't know. I've been doing it for like, 7 to 8 years. But the thing is, there's a bunch of challenges from working from home that like now we can't really solve. For one, when you work from home, your coworkers being your friends, they don't live next to you necessarily. So you can't just like go have a beer with your coworker buddies. So in terms of,
I wish I could have a beer with you guys all the time. I wish I could meet up with you guys on Fridays or whatever. We could go have a beer, but we live literally across the country. And so we just Discord with each other or do calls or even do this podcast to keep up with each other. So that beer would like restore my sanity points if this were a video game.
Yeah, that would be great, right? But that's one of the challenges is when you're working from home is like, how do you network and make friends still? Because post college, one of the easiest ways I think that we're accustomed to building or maintaining our friend circle is by doing it through work. And because you're going to a workplace, you're seeing those people every day, you get to know them. You want to unload and vent after work. So that becomes natural. You break that cycle when you work from home. So you have to look outside of the box and in terms of trying to find friends. And during this pandemic, anything that you might have had, do that. Like for me, I would go to the bar or try to get involved in like some intramural outside sports or clubs or things like that. I can't do any of that right now. So I'm just like stuck here and it's driving me a little crazy. How about you, Ross?
He's going a little crazy.
Yeah. Thank God for my dog. That's all I'm going to say. My God. I think everyone is feeling that, passion for their pets right about now, because that's for a lot of us, that's the only people that we've got around now is our dogs. And you're right, Perrin. It's really weird because this isn't that much different from everyday life for us. For what's been for me the past 9 years, similar for you guys. It's just it's just a different energy in the air. It's like you said, when you go outside, it's just everyone seems to be judging each other, except here in Tennessee. In Tennessee, it's still a party. There's just as much traffic as out now as what there was, 3 months ago. Of course, I'm sure it's much better than what I'm making it out. But it's I just drove by the grocery store yesterday when I had to go take something to my parents, and it was packed. It was packed at like 9 o'clock in the morning. It was just packed, and it's like, my God. I don't know. It's just really, really, really weird times. So I think it's a little it's very acceptable for everyone to kind of be losing their mind a little bit. Hopefully we don't have to for much longer, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's like being inside of a movie. So yesterday, you pull up in your Twitter feed and there's an image of like a doctor like taking care of somebody, and it says like insert country here is on lockdown for the pandemic. You're like, okay, all right. And then Anna and I went to Target yesterday to go do a shopping run for essentials. And when you walk up to Target, there's like warning signs on all the doors that says this is not a CDC testing center. You're like, what the fuck? And then you go inside of Target and like Starbucks is barricaded They've like cleared out like the aisles so there's more room in there. And then like the Target workers are like sitting there loading the shelves, and they like turn around and look at you like suddenly with like with mask over their mouth. Everybody is like just waiting. They'll wait for you to shop in the aisle, and nobody gets even close to each other. It's really, really strange. And also just like regular everyday things. So I brought a reusable shopping bag because it's just my habit. I don't like using plastic shopping bags, right? I brought one to Target yesterday, and the worker said, "Don't put that on my conveyor belt. I'm not allowed to let you do that." I was like, "Oh, wow." She's like, "It'll carry the virus." I'm like, "Holy crap." Like just all these normal things that you're used to. And then there's just these weird pandemic variations of them happening in real life. And it just makes you feel so uncomfortable, as you should be uncomfortable outside of your home right now. It's just so surreal and so strange. It's just crazy. And walking around my neighborhood to try to, just get a little bit of fresh air during the day. I've decided I don't even want to do it during the day now. I only do it at night, just out of respect of people that are like taking their kids out for a bike ride and what have you, just to stay away from other people. It's just strange times. And it just kind of has me on edge at all times, no matter what. Like I can't settle in at any given point. That's the overarching feeling that I have right now. So let's talk about ways that we're trying to stay sane.
Yeah, that was my next question. Perfect. Go right in.
Yeah. So we're used to working from home. We're used to being isolated. We're used to just staying in our studios and just typing crap on the internet all day and people paying us money for it. So what are those best practices that from the last 10 years, those good habits that we've taken that we're applying today that we want to teach people about and that are going to help them get through this? Because I think those are helping us stay, at maybe a 4 out of 10 right now, where other people may be below that in terms of their comfort with the situation. Perrin, what are some of those best practices for you?
I know this is one that I started to do a while ago, and that's get up from the computer like every half hour and move around. Take calls on your phone. Don't always take calls from the computer, from my microphone and my camera here, but plug in my earbuds and my iPhone and go for a walk around the block. Right. Stay active as much as you possibly can. Get exercise. Try to, and I've seen on social media a lot of people talk about this struggle. Even if you're out of work at the moment, try to stick with like your work kind of schedule in terms of when you wake up, when you go to sleep, and to like not stay up really late and sleep in really late. I mean, I'm guilty of doing that too, but realistically, if you're able to kind of like stick with that schedule and keep some normalcy there, that can help. Some things specific to the coronavirus that I've done that have helped is my family and we have like a group text chat that we just post like how we're doing, or we'll post like pictures of like, or stuff that we share, like the moon event, the other night we were posting about that, or we'll just post some like funny memes, and we just have a continual group chat between like my parents, my siblings, kind of going on. And it's not like super active, it's just like every now and then someone posts something there, so we all know that we're all doing okay, and we're kind of making a little bit light of it, and we know we can't see each other, but we know we're all okay and alive. And then the one that I like right now, and obviously I was going to bring this one up, is video games. I think this is a great time to play some video games that maybe you've missed out on. If you guys haven't been a gamer in the past 5 to 10 years, gaming has become a hugely social thing. So you can play games, and if you're missing out on that kind of social component because you're stuck at home, you can really feel like fulfilled socially by playing some of the more social games, like MMORPGs, like multiplayer FPS games where you're with a team and you have to work together. These other like maybe like multiplayer online survival games, Ark Survival Evolved, DayZ, etc. These type of games where you have to play with other people and coordinate to succeed, those ones, you're going to be able to fulfill some of that socialization need that your human brain is saying that you need right now and you're missing. Gaming has come a long way, and I think that's a pretty good thing to do. It keeps you inside. It keeps you socialized. It gives you something constructive to do. It takes your mind off of like all the other weird stuff going on. So I think it can be really, really helpful. And if you've been working a ton and haven't had a lot of time to catch up on games, maybe now is like a great time for that.
Yeah, before we kick it over to Ross, I've got 2 recommendations there. They are. I've got 2 recommendations, and I'm going to kick it over to Ross. One is if you are a mobile gamer, I've been trying out Apple Arcade. They don't pay me to say this, but you subscribe for $4.99 a month, and you get over 100 mobile games on iOS that are high quality, no ads, no microtransactions, no BS. From RPGs to skating games to the whole nine. I've been trying this. It's been great. It's like actually high quality mobile games with no garbage in them. That isn't soliciting you to put money in the mobile game slot machine. Really great for mobile gamers. And I also recently subscribed to Xbox Game Pass for $14.99 per month. You get 100 games on your PC or your console, just a whole library of games for you to try out. So the whole point is, if you're not normally a gamer, or you are and you're looking to try out new stuff, buying subscription services like this will just allow you to get instant access to a bunch of premium games without having to drop $60, $60, $60, $60 to get games. I mean, there's going to be close to 20 million people that are unemployed. You can't justify dropping hundreds of dollars on video games right now. But one of these subscription services is as much or less than a Netflix subscription to give you that engagement to stay sharp and to do something different. So I really recommend trying out one of these subscription services for games rather than buying games outright right now, especially if you're hard up for cash. But you're right, Ross. Let me kick it back over to you. Playing games is a lot more active. It keeps your brain active versus sitting there and watching 7 hours of CNN and people talking about the death count. I mean, that doesn't sound too healthy.
Yeah. No, and it can't be that healthy at all. And one I've actually picked up on the trend that a lot of people, maybe they check the news first thing when they wake up, but there seems to be a good pattern of people staying away from the media the further along into this pandemic we go. And I think that's the healthy choice. And while I don't say that to criticize the media, because they're doing their job and they're doing a good job of keeping us informed. But you have to look out for yourself and pick best time to do that. With that said, my biggest piece of advice that I've learned from working from home over the past 9 years is respect your time. And by respect your time, I mean, actually take a step back and look at your day from when you wake up to when you go to bed and pinpoint the hours that you're the most productive, pinpoint the hours that, that's when you start to get sleepy and you're not focused, and then base your schedule around that. One thing that I do, and this is not going to be popular by any means, and it's obviously a whole different story. I don't have kids, so I can't speak to that. I imagine that pretty much shuts down what I have to say. But I get up about 5 a.m. every morning, because between the hours of 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., nobody's really up to bother you. Nobody's sending you emails. Nobody's distracting you during your work. You can literally just sit at your desk in a very peaceful manner and get what you need to get done. I get twice as much done in the morning hours, early morning hours, than what I do throughout the day. And then usually, during those hours that I talked about earlier, where you're pinpointing when you start to get tired, you actually then have the time where you can go lay down for 15 minutes and take a nap to fight that. When you get the majority of your work done earlier, the longer you have to relax and just kind of monitor the situation. I mean, it's easier said. That's my job is social media. So, you can just kind of take a step back and just monitor. It's more relaxing. Then you can really attend to people, your coworkers, when they need something, because a lot of people are in a situation where, like, we know they're working from home. They're not used to it. You got to have a little patience with everybody, especially your coworkers, the ones that are hoping you earn an income. So the best thing in my suggestion is that's when you get the majority of your work done, you can be there for your coworkers more. And it's just so much more peaceful working in the morning with no distractions, better problem solving, everything.
Man, that sounds nice. Yeah, because my 2-year-old wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning. Right. And from 5 a.m. till when I do this, I'm taking care of a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. But for people that don't have kids, or you have older kids, right? Like if you have like,
Right.
teenagers or whatever, they sure as hell aren't waking up at 5 a.m. You're going to be struggling to get them up at, 1 o'clock. So in that scenario, thumbs up. But that makes sense. And on the coworkers thing, this is another thing that I think is really important. You're always thinking about other people first, Ross. Parent and I, we're not good people.
Oh.
We don't think about other people. No, but
Thanks.
no, but being there for your coworkers and talking to your coworkers one-on-one, at least once per week or once every other week, just for 15 minutes on just a call, not a business call, but just a how you doing call right now, can be really, really big. I have a coworker of mine that works in New York, and she, this is like worst case scenario for her. And she's got kids in the whole nine, and she's got all these worries. And I just do a how you doing call with her, just for a few minutes every week. We just catch up and I just ask her how she's doing as a person. And having one of your coworkers be there for you like that makes a big difference for a couple reasons. First of all, you're not your coworker's family or best friend a lot of the time, right? But what it can do, having a coworker relate to your situation and talk to you about what's going on, can make you feel less pressure from your job. If you know that your coworkers understand that you aren't going to be able to work as much, or that you have these limitations, or that you're highly stressed right now, it makes that work category in your life of working from home go down in stress significantly. And it can make a huge impact on how much pressure someone feels to deliver on their job when they've got a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old yanking on their shoulders, their husband in the background saying, I need to get on my call next, and you can't leave the house, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that can make a big difference. And reach out to somebody that you work with that you think may be struggling the most, and just call them up on the phone and just talk to them for 10 minutes and be like, you doing all right? Shit's crazy right now. And just have a regular human to human conversation with them. And I think that can make a big difference.
Yeah, these, your coworkers, they may not be your friends. You may not consider them family. You may not even consider them acquaintances. But at the end of the day, they still play an important part of your life. And when your coworkers are stress-free and your work environment becomes less stress-free, you become less stress-free. That's just all there is to it.
Yep. Totally. One thing I wanted to bring up too, and we do this, and Perrin, I know you have something to say there, and I'll get to you in just a second.
That's fine.
We get dressed with real clothes every day. This is something that's important too. Notice how Ross has a collared shirt on. I shave, I brush my hair, I take a shower every morning, I eat breakfast. I even have shoes on right now and pants. Don't work in your PJs every day, guys. You want to talk about staying sane? You need to have that transition from regular time to work time, and your clothes and the way they feel on you and the way you look, and even having shoes on in particular. There's like studies that show that having shoes on while you're working like increases productivity of people that are working from home exponentially. If you're just barefoot in your office, your productivity goes down. There's study after study after study on that. So put some regular shoes on your feet when you're working and go to work like you're actually going to work. Now, if you wear a suit normally, obviously you don't have to wear a suit right now. That's stupid. But wear a pair of regular pants and a regular shirt and shave your freaking face. If you're a woman, brush your hair, put on something decent looking, and like be halfway acceptable. And you will feel 1,000 times better and 1,000 times more productive. I can assure you, I've tried PJ days over the last 10 years. I really wish it could work, and it just doesn't. Perrin, back to you, man. You had a comment that you were going to make a moment ago on the coworker subject. You had something that came up for you.
You transitioned
great.
to it. I wanted to talk about self-care. Yeah. And you kind of led right into it. Because that's one thing when we were talking about what's driving us insane and what's driving me insane. And something that I had to realize I was doing a bad job of is taking care of myself like during this time. So, I mean, I started hitting at it earlier, like talking about going to bed at the right times, etc. And you're hitting on it too, like getting up in the morning, showering, dressing for the day. But it's more than that too. It's like eating healthy. And we've hit springtime here. You're stuck in your house. One thing I've noticed that I'm regularly bad at is like keeping my house really tidy and like actually clean. Cause most of the time I'm just like working. And I kind of just like let that slide a little bit. I took the time to like actually start a real spring clean. Like I never do like a real spring cleaning in my house. And I did like just a good solid, like I didn't go crazy. I just did like a good like 2 to 3 hours of it. And afterwards I felt so much better. And another thing then I like, instead of, I always take showers in the morning. I normally at least do that before this call. I went in like the evening and I just took like a relaxing bath and just kind of like treated myself and took care of myself and like cared about myself. And I felt so much better. So look at what you do for self-care and take that time while you're stuck at home to improve improve your home environment you might not be able to go to the store and get a ton of cleaning supplies and stuff, but I'm sure you have some ways of like improving it in some fashion. If you've got plants in the house, take care of your plants. If you don't have a garden right now, everything's starting to grow because spring is back. Tend to your lawn, to your garden, like make it look nice. These things will make you feel better because you've put time and energy into improving yourself and the place that you live. And it has a profound impact. If you haven't tried it, give self-care a try. Look at yourself constructively. Look at what are you doing poorly? Are you eating well? Are you snacking a lot? Like, I know going to the grocery store is a bit challenging right now, but are there ways in which you could maybe make that a little bit better? Can you eat at more regular intervals? Can you mix in maybe a little bit more fruit or things like that? Other ways in which you can get more sleep? Ross hit on this. One of the cool things about working from home is you can take naps and it's kind of nice sometimes. So if you get really tired, like take a nice nap. Like it's not going to hurt anything. No one's telling you can't do it. Maybe you really want that nap and your body's saying, take it, have a nice nap and see where that leads you.
Take
a look at your self-care and treat yourself a little bit. Yeah.
I love that. And on the yard work thing, I've got a crazy, I don't know if it is, so people that live in big cities that are listening to this are like, yard work? We don't have that here. But for folks that are living in suburban areas, here in Pensacola, the yard pickup service is running double and triple time right now to try to just pick up all of the yard trimmings that people have put in front of their house. Because every freaking dad in this entire city is doing yard work all day and doing exactly what Andrew Perrin is talking about. And every house has like a mountain of branches and stuff and all those projects that they had talked about or thought about doing at their house in the past. They're doing them now. And that's a great recommendation. It eats up your time. You're productive. You're active. And most importantly, you can't control this pandemic, but the things you can control, you should control them as much as you can, especially if they're healthy activities. And things like cleaning your house, doing those organization projects, doing your accounting, even doing your accounting on your monthly budget, or you're doing your taxes, or having a second look at your, whatever it is, like boring things like your investments or retirement, things like that, things that you've kind of avoided but are important and healthy to be on top of. This is your time. You have no excuse not to do those things. Now, let me put a caveat in there. Some people who don't have kids in particular, or families, or they don't have to care for an elderly person or a loved one, think that there is unlimited time. Other people are in the exact opposite situation where they've never had less time. And so one thing I would want to tell everyone is, if you are working with somebody like that who has to care for other people, just because they're working from home doesn't mean they have more time now. They've actually never had less time to themselves than right now, because everybody in their life they're supposed to be taking care of is on top of their ass all day long. So you got to cut those people some slack and realize we're not all in the same situation when you have a dependent or dependents in your life. Ross, you sounded like you had something you wanted to say there.
No, you actually hit that square on the head. It just goes back to being respectful. If everybody has a different situation, literally every single person is in a different situation, and respect that when, you're talking to someone, or you need something done or need a favor or something, just respect their time as you would respect yours. One thing that I've noticed that I did, and I actually noticed this, that was a couple of years ago, that I always had something else going on in the room, whether it's music, TV. There was always something on, even if I wasn't paying attention, just as a distraction. And it's amazing how that stuff can actually still affect you subconsciously without you even paying attention to it. Once a day, I would recommend, even if it's just for 20 to 30 minutes, just turn everything off and just sit and just kind of be at one with yourself. Just focus on your breathing. And I promise you, you will be shocked as to how quickly things start to come to order, priorities in your life, things you need to get done. It's a real easy way to organize your thoughts and kind of, it's almost like a reset button on the day if you do it halfway through, just to recollect yourself, kind of establish what else you need to get done for the day, what order it needs to be done. And that can be done just by being alone with your thoughts for, 15, 30 minutes and just focusing on breathing. 5 seconds breathe in, 5 seconds breathe out. After a minute, it becomes a habit and you're doing it subconsciously. Try it. It's worth it.
I love it. That's great advice. And combine that with a stretch if you want that. Combine that with some push-ups. Just do nothing if you want. I agree. Don't leave CNN or the news on all day, by the way. With COVID coverage, you will go crazy.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. My wife knows from living through Hurricane Katrina. Man, watching that coverage all day, it doesn't make you feel like you're more on top of the situation. It makes it feel like the situation's more on top of you. All right, guys, that's it for the digital drop today. Hopefully we helped you out. And if you're going crazy, tweet at us. We will talk to you, okay? Tweet at us at Digital Drop Pod. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know how you're doing. We're happy to provide you advice, free advice on how to grow your online business, how do you grow on YouTube, socials, whatever it is. We're here to help you out. That's why we're doing this podcast 5 days a week at 9 a.m. Eastern, live on Twitter. We've also got the replays going on YouTube as well, and on every podcasting platform. Just free content, free advice for you guys from experts that have been doing this for a long time. We're here to help you. And so don't take advantage of this resource and take advantage of this opportunity to get people with maybe more experience with you in the situation to help you out. We want you to be all right, and we want you to succeed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you once again at 9 a.m. Eastern on Twitter Live. See you there.